Hey guys, Josh here, also known as Aussie Menace. Just letting you know that I kind of forgot to press record at the start of the podcast here. So the first 10 minutes or so will be pulled from the VOD. So if the audio quality is a little bit bad, I apologize for that. Also, throughout the podcast, the quality won't be fantastic because my microphone setup is pretty abysmal, but, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day, so it'll get better. Obviously, in the future, I'll invest in better equipment, so the quality of the stream will be a much better experience. Also, you know, I was kind of a nervous little Nelly at the start there, but, you know, it got better as it went. So just sit back, relax. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for listening. And all the best. I really appreciate your viewership. Ooh, okay. The moment of truth, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first episode of the First Person Creator Showcase podcast. I'm with my guest here, my inaugural guest, McBango. McBango, say hello.
What's up?
Ladies and gentlemen,
What's up, dude? How are you doing?
I'm very good. I'm very nervous now. I was all comfortable in the pre-show, but now I'm shitting my little fucking dax. I'm scared, but that's okay. I'm not going to be a professional overnight, am I?
No, it's not how that works.
So how are you feeling today, buddy? You excited?
Oh,
Inaugural
good. I
guest?
just woke up from a nap. You know, about 45 minutes late to being here, but it's worth it for me, man. I feel good.
Good. As long as you're feeling good, that's all right. I was getting a bit scared. I'd have to find a last-second replacement. Like the DMs right now are fucking, hey buddy pal, where are you? Yeah, I was getting a bit scared, but that's okay. You're here. You're here. We're live.
Here.
Chat, get excited because we got McBango here, and shit, man, I'm nervous. If you couldn't tell, I'm fumbling the bag.
Oh, it's all good, dude.
Right,
Wait,
so
what was that question I asked you about a minute ago?
couldn't tell
Are
you,
you
buddy.
nervous, little buddy?
Oh yeah. Dude, you asked that and I just said to you, no, I'm feeling great. I feel confident. The pre-show was going crazy. Chat was going mental. Shout out to Jaren for dumping some gifty subs. And then the moment the music came off, my tail went between my legs.
It got real.
Now I'm a bit jittery. I should go play Apex. Get that jitter aim naturally.
Ooh.
Fucking hell. Alright, so let's start off the podcast. Topic number one. Just tell me a bit, you know, who are you? What do you do? Tell me about McBango.
Well, so that Bango is the name-o. Just some guy that plays video games. That's really it. I work 40 hours a week in a sweatshop as a welder. Come home, relax, play video games just like any other person. But the weekends I stream. Saturdays and Sundays right now because of Coliseum has a Friday freebie. So enter that contest for a chance at winning free money, which is always great.
McBango is a featured player on Coliseum, so you can choose him, add him to your squad, your fantasy lineup. Tell you what, you got me quite a few points the last couple of weeks. You've been pulling in 300 plus, which is pretty bloody huge considering you're only $2,000. You're cheap.
I'm a cheap little buddy. Yeah, that's
cheap
right.
little buddy. Yeah, I reckon your price will go up very shortly.
It went up quite a bit last weekend, but then they took out the regular solos mode, not introduced, but they added back Champions at Caldera. And just
Yeah.
like every solos LTM mode, I have server issues. Whether I crash, disconnect from the server, or just can't get a lobby. So I couldn't really play to my strengths last weekend, but it's not really my fault. So this weekend's gonna be different. I'm gonna go hard as planned.
Very good. Also, I've already fucked up. I just started recording. I've got to start recording, so I'm gonna have to pull that from the VOD now. Fuck.
Oh man.
It's alright, no, that's okay.
Jeez.
We'll pull it from the VOD, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. It's alright.
As far as in the game world, yeah, I snipe. Well, that's what I'm known for. I used to be known for running off-meta loadouts in Warzone. You know, what would my long-range gun be? I don't know, like a VLK Dragunov, and then short-range, medium-range, submachine gun build, Scar H. Just dumb shit. Every game, try something different, because I get bored of the game pretty easy. But I found a way to make the game interesting for the long term, and that's just hone in on the sniping. Because like you hit a nasty snipe, that's a direct dopamine injection every single time. It's a drug. It feels so good.
I'm
So
not the most consistent sniper, but I agree with where you're coming from. When you hit that one shot, oh,
mhm.
makes it so worth it.
And
Get an
over
adrenaline
the
rush.
course of time, through repetition, you can get really good at like trajectory calculation, travel time, bullet drop, how much to lead a target, whether he's running broadside to you, tailing away from you, going uphill a little bit. Through repetition, you can start placing those shots rather than taking the shot, if that makes sense.
Yep.
You can place it where it's got to go and be more consistent. Yeah.
And
And that is where it gets really fun.
there are countless clips of you just sniping people that are free falling or parachuting from 300, 400, anywhere up to 600 meters away. I've seen them. I don't know how you do it, but you do that surprisingly very often. He's a demon. He's insane. He's insane.
Here's the trick to it.
Hit your
Take a
shots.
lot of shots.
Take a
Keep
lot of
shooting.
shots.
Don't stop, because just because the target seems really tough to hit doesn't mean you can't hit it. You just gotta figure out the point of aim, where you have to aim it,
I still remember my
and
longest shot.
through
Oh, sorry.
repetition, that's
You go.
better.
I still remember
No,
my
no, go
longest
ahead.
shot I ever got was about 780 meters, and it took me about 40 bullets to hit. But when I hit it, whoo, man, was it worth it! Holy shit! So that was on Verdansk. I was on top of prison like an absolute rat, shooting all the way into downtown.
That's where my longest shot is too. Well,
Oh,
not in Verdansk. Think of between Promenade East and Hospital. There's a set of big apartment buildings.
yep.
I was up on top of a rooftop, and this is when Swiss was really good. And I'm playing with Jake down and a couple other people, and Jake's just popping shots at someone. I'm like, Jake, what are you shooting at? He goes, oh, this chopper that's above lumber. So I take a look, and I can barely see it through my scope. And I aimed so far ahead of it, way high. I could hardly see it in my scope. After about 10 shots, one of them connects to the pilot, and down he goes. It's like 1,500 meters.
What?
Yeah,
1,500. I was bragging about
it's so
750.
far away.
Fucking
It,
hell.
it didn't show me like the distance of the kill. So the next time I hopped in the game, I got on that rooftop and then put a ping on the map at Lumber where that chopper was, and it was about 1,500.
Jesus.
That's a good one.
Oh
That's
my
a great
god.
one. Sure.
1,500 meters. Bloody hell.
That's
So,
luck, though. I mean, it's
you miss
really, really
100% of the
hard
shots you don't take.
It's hard to know exactly where you have to place a bullet that far away when you don't have opportunity to shoot at targets like that consistently.
One thing I'd like to have a quick talk about is the origins of your name, McBango. Because I know the story, and I think
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
really touching story. So if you want to share that, that'd be great.
Sure. So McBango was the name used by my longtime gaming friend. And he, through years, well over a decade of gaming together with him, he became my best friend. We'd gone through relationships together, supported each other through that, jobs, school, all that shit you have to deal with growing up. And then he passed away a couple years ago, and it took me quite a while to get over that. I couldn't see the name without just feeling like shit. Gaming just didn't feel the same anymore. Um, but then when I decided to start streaming, I switched the names I was using. I say names because I just switch it up all the time. I didn't have a consistent one. I just switched over, took McBango, and did it so I could keep them alive in the only way I knew how,
I think that's
so to
really, really
speak.
touching. I love that story. It's an excellent
Yeah.
way to honor your friend too. I love it.
Yeah, and it's a great name, 3 syllables or less. It's memorable. It works. I like it.
I was telling you last night, just getting ready for the stream, I found his YouTube channel and I went through it. It was just a nostalgia trip, like 2009 Counter-Strike clips. That was really good fun. It was
Yeah,
good.
he was
It was
good.
very
He
good.
was very good. He was smart about playing. Like, there were people that were a better shot, and something he taught me is you're not playing against bots. Doesn't matter how high the difficulty of bots that you practice against are. You're playing against humans that make decisions and that think themselves, so you have to figure them out. Over the course of a couple rounds, you have to pay attention to their behavior. If they keep going to the same spot, keep holding the same angles, you have to figure them out very quickly, and then you can outplay them. You don't have to be the better aimer. If you're a smarter player, you can usually get a W that way.
Game sense, sorry, is such an important thing. That's something I've always lacked. I'm all aim no brain. I put would have been maybe a year and a half ago. Within a couple of weeks, I put about 150 hours into CS, and I was thrown in the deep end. I was lost. I had people abusing me, of course, because it's Counter-Strike. But after 150 odd hours, I came back to Warzone because this is when the FFAR was just the king, and I was so over it. I quit. I wanted to play a more skillful game, so I went to Counter-Strike. Put a lot of time into that, or not a lot, but put quite a bit of time into that. Came back, and all of a sudden, I just became so much better. My game sense was more switched on. I was more thought more about what I was doing, and it ended up paying off. And it's same with my aim too. My aim went just way better in so many ways. And that happened again recently. I was over Warzone, shocker, and I installed Valorant. I put about 100 hours into Valorant within 2 weeks, and I still want to keep playing Valorant actually. But I came back. Aim just went insane. Went on aim labs, broke all my scores. Ridiculous. So tactical shooters like that, not only do you have to be smart, obviously you have to aim good. But I feel like if you're in a rut in any kind of first person shooter game that's not tactical, go play a tactical game such as Counter-Strike or Valorant, and you'll be very, very surprised with the difference in your abilities outside of that. It's very noticeable.
You have to apply yourself a little bit more.
That's it. You have
with
to use
everything you're doing.
Use your little peanut brain.
Yeah.
Awesome, dude. Awesome.
The cool thing about like tac shooters is it seems like it's not just aim, but it's a different type of aim. Less tracking so much, but more about like speed and precision. You have to be the first one to land a headshot in a lot of those games.
That's right.
So you got to be able to snap your aim much quicker than most people and snap it right where it has to be. Get that first bullet to connect. If you don't hit your first bullet on their head, you should have taken a little bit more time, kind of thing. Like you have to be on the money with your shot placement.
Super critical.
That's a good thing. That's a good skill to have.
It is. It is. Gotta be really switched on. So, tell me about your FPS history. Like, where'd you start? What games have you played? What do you like? I know you've played a lot of Counter-Strike. So yeah, give me the brief history of Ben. Ben, your name is.
Yeah.
Probably should have said that to the stream. Ben. I should have said that earlier, but there you go.
But yeah, like you said at Counter-Strike, I think it was 2004, 2005 when I started getting into FPS. I had been playing RuneScape for a couple years, and somebody had told me about, hey, you should check out Counter-Strike and play that game with me. So I go to Best Buy, I look at the store shelves, and I buy Counter-Strike, right? I get it home and install it, let them know, and they're like, oh, you have the wrong one. You bought Counter-Strike Source. I was referring to 1.6. So it's kind of bummed out. So being a kid with not any money, I was just playing Source, kind of figuring it out a little bit. And I was just terrible at that game. Like I'd never played a shooter game with a mouse and keyboard before. The desk I grew up on was tiny, and it had one of those pull-out drawers for the keyboard and the mouse.
God.
So I had like a
holy shit
8 square inch area for a mouse to operate. And keep in mind that these are not like gaming peripherals. These are just dog shit Dell mice and keyboard, crappy desktop speakers I'm trying to learn
exactly on. I can picture the scene exactly in my brain right now.
My computer at the time was so shit. I didn't have a video card in it because I didn't need it before. So I'm getting like 10 frames a second. I find a vent on a map to where I can kind of see what's going on without freeze framing and slide showing. And I start shooting the bots that would chase me up this vent. I would do this for like hours as like a 13-year-old kid. I thought it was so fun. But eventually got a graphics card, got new internet, and started playing around on dedicated servers, a lot of mods and stuff. And then I met a bunch of people that were into other FPS games and kind of went from there. Battlefield 2, dabbled in that a little bit. Not a whole lot, but then Call of Duty 4 came out a couple years after I'd been playing Counter-Strike. And I fell in love with that game. I think it was like the graphics at the time, I remember aiming down sights of a scope and un-ADSing and seeing the world reflection in the lens of the scope and
Yeah.
thinking that was the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen. Like, oh my god, computer gaming is so much better than Xbox and stuff. Like, there's no way I could ever go back from this. And then Modern Warfare 2, played that when that came out. Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 for a number of years. I eventually got banned from every server that I had low ping to because I thought I was cheating,
Of
unfortunately.
course. Good
Well,
old
fuck it.
Battlefield fucking admins, man.
Badmins, yeah. I
Badmins.
just made a new account and bought the game again. I loved it so much and just kept playing.
Fuck yeah.
Um, Battle Royales came out. PUBG, been playing that quite a bit. And I've been addicted to Battle Royale since because it's just a different mindset. Sometimes you got to let somebody run past you. You can't just shoot at every target because that
Oh.
guy
I
200
wish I
meters
could
away
follow
from
that
you up on the
advice.
hill is going to kill you if you kill that guy. So you have to let both people get closer.
Yeah.
Just an interesting mindset you have to put yourself in.
That kind of builds on my topic of game sense and how I have none of it, because as soon as I see someone run across my screen, I'm a little chimp. I have to shoot. I have to shoot my gun, and I always get killed from it too. Like you and I have played a lot of Warzone together, and I hate to admit, but I have cost us so many games because I'm just such a buffoon. I'm a buffoon. But that's what I love
Sometimes
about playing with you, man. Because you think and you say, ping before you shoot, and you say let them pass, and I'm thinking, what the fuck, dude? They're open. I'm gonna shoot them, and then either I do shoot them and we get shot from behind, or we don't shoot them, and then someone else shoots them, they die, and we're in the prime spot to shoot the people that killed them. See, that it's the thinking, it's the critical thinking skills that you have that are just that surpass so many players. That's what makes you such a great player. Not only can you aim, but you have a fucking brain. That's what I don't have.
I
I'm
think that
lost.
just comes from Counter-Strike and PUBG.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's the upbringing. Counter-Strike being the first FPS that I played, you have to use your brain in that game. You have to figure out your opponent. What are they going to do? Are they going to push B? Are they getting aggressive because they have the lead? So many matches. And you have to kind of use their tells to your advantage. Like if a player, say in Warzone, is really aggressive, you're running from them, trying to get a leg up on them. You're hopping through windows, bashing doors, shutting doors, hopping back in through windows, climbing, jumping, doing all this cat and mouse chasing. They're not going to let up. At that point, through a couple seconds of that cat and mouse chase, you should know that they're not going to let up. Stop as you go through a door, hold an angle, wait for them to enter your gun sights, and don't push into theirs. Because ultimately, they want you to push into their gun sight. That's what every opponent in an FPS wants, is for you to line up on their cursor. If you can flip that and make them line up into your sights, you've already got a leg up on them. So mid gunfight, sometimes those are the decisions you have to make. How much am I willing to run? How much am I willing to engage this fight? Do I pop a couple shots and keep dipping in and out? You got to figure it out real quick. You don't have much time. Or you can just go in and try to rely on raw aim skill. But that's not always going to help you win a fight. Sometimes you need a little brain game in there too.
That makes a lot of sense, because say for example you're chasing an enemy, and they hop into a building, they're postured up, they're ready in a building, they're ready in a room. So they're ADS, they're expecting someone to come on their screen. The only variable they have is waiting for the cue to shoot. Whereas you don't know exactly where they are, so you're pushing into a building, you're slide canceling, going through windows, you don't know where they are exactly, and then you hop into their room, and not only do you have the variable of target acquisition and then readjustment of whatever you're doing, you could be facing the ground from slide canceling, whatever, and then shooting, whereas the other person has the only cue they have is they see you on the screen, they pull their trigger. You're dead.
Right.
That's it.
Ideally, in their situation, they've got their gun sights lined up in the most probable spot that you're going to come around.
That's it.
And if you could
And
do
that's what
that,
I
if
don't
you
think
could be
of.
ready, you will have a small window of time where you're landing shots on them. They're not even hitting you. Now you have the TTK advantage, even if you're using an off meta weapon.
I still remember one time I hopped into your stream and you're using the Stoner 63 from Cold War in Warzone. And this is when I think you were the first to discover the insane ADS firing speed.
Oh
What I
yeah.
recall. I remember watching you just zoom back and forward, left and right. It was the funniest thing. I remember I watched you do that and then I set one up for myself. And I've got this clip where I was ADS firing without knowing there was someone in the corridor and get it down, and I snap 180, and then I'm jiggling left and right, and I get another kill. And I said, I just did the McBango fucking special. That was such good memories, dude.
God, that was such a fun time in Warzone too, because I remember seeing in, I think it was like a True Game Data video or Exclusive Ace talking about the ground loot stoner, where your movement speed while firing was like 200% base movement speed.
It was the green one, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and I was like, well, what if I put every single attachment for firing movement speed and strafe speed on, regardless of how the recoil is? Let's just try it. I swear to God, if you're crossing a street and you started getting shoot at, hold the trigger down and you would cross the street faster.
Unironically, that is true.
There's so many clips of being on in a four stack, chasing up a staircase into a tall building in like downtown where somebody's on the rooftop, and we're chasing somebody up those stairs. I'm the last in line because I'm running a heavier loadout typically when I'm playing in squads. But it's like, nope, this is my kill, and I'll dump 100 round mag just so I can pass all my teammates and just run up the stairs and get to be the first one up there. I've done that so many times.
Dude, it was so
And
cool. It was so funny.
typically, if I know one of my teammates is going to secure a kill, I'm not going to try to steal it from them. But for the sake of the laughter of everybody just all of a sudden hearing my gun go, and then I just go zooming right past him, it's fucking hilarious. I miss those days so much.
That's what a lot of people need to start thinking about when they're playing first-person shooter games. Is ultimately you're there to have fun. So if there's something crazy like that and you want to zoom upstairs, even if it's not the most smart strat, just do it. It's fun.
Yep, if you're hanging out with buddies, for sure, make sure you're having fun because you don't want to everybody get salty and then eventually
Here's a
people
little
can get at each other's throats.
here's a little plug. I recently put up a video on my YouTube. If you search up Aussie Madness on YouTube, me and some buddies got into some Modern Warfare 2019 custom lobbies when Desert Eagle only headshots headshots only Desert Eagles. That we planned to do it just for 1 or 2 games. So we were bored. We thought we'd just do 1 or 2 of these. 4 hours later, and somehow we had like 7 people. We started the 3 of us. We ended up with 7 people just running around headshots only. Sorry, I have to mute for a second. I got a burp. Good lord, that went straight through me. Anyway, we were running around headshots only Deagle. We played for a good 4 hours. It just flew by. It was the most fun I've ever had in a first-person shooter game ever. And Flex in the chat right now saying, "Oh boy, it's so much fun." Flex was there. He was on 250 ping, but he was still playing and having that much fun. Just because we were all in the VC, all hanging out. So shout out to Flex. We got Umbra, Lunatic, Noonie, Diz, and Brody. So yeah, 6 of us. I'm pretty sure that was it. Yeah, we just played for hours. It was so much fun. And that's what a lot of people don't think about anymore is, oh, I have to use this super meta loadout and I have to get 20 kills on rebirth, otherwise I'm fucking molding and I've failed and I've got to get content. A lot of people are stuck in that mindset of, I have to get this meta content, I have to go off. You're doing this competitively, but are you having fun? Are you having fun playing your first-person shooter video game? You've just worked for 8 hours, or you've just been at school for 8 hours, and you want to relax. Are you relaxing? Are you having fun? No, you're not. You're putting yourself through hell. For what? And I have so much respect for all the people that are out there grinding, trying to get better, trying to do good gameplay. I understand. I have so many friends within this community that are in that mindset, but I get, I want to say worried, not worried, but like they're putting themselves through so much stress, and people just need to, even if you just take 1 or 2 days off, you grind and just fuck around, have some fun. because that mental reset is so critical to enjoying games and enjoying what you're doing.
100%.
Exactly. And like there was a time when I had 120 active more than 120 active subs on Twitch for gameplay. My Twitch was at a massive peak, and I was going so well, like content wise, community wise, all that stuff. But I ended up stopping because I was not having fun anymore. I was trying to be this demonic first person shooter player, and I was so burnt out. I was not having fun, so I quit. I went AWOL for a while, and then I started building a community on Twitter. I started hanging out with a lot more people, and then I started having more fun. And that's the whole idea of this podcast, is I just want to have fun. I want to have fun conversations. I don't want to be an insane gameplay streamer, because that's not me. That's not me. That's not what I consider fun. But anyway, that's a tangent. This is not a podcast about me. This is a podcast about McBango.
No, you're onto something though. Like, you gotta find a balance too, especially when you play a game like Warzone that can be so frustrating. And
Infuriating.
absolutely infuriating. You've gotta find a balance between your own life, your streaming and content, and definitely separate the two. Don't make, at least I don't think a person should make their life all about that. You got to have other things outside of it. It's one of the reasons I only play 2 days a week. I used to play every single day. Every single day I'd hop on at least for a couple matches after work, whatever. But I started getting really burnt out when the game is in a state that is frustrating, whether it's a broken meta, an abusable bug, glitch, whatever it is. You've got to find a way to balance everything.
Okay.
So for me, just streaming 2 days a week has actually been better for, viewership, um, subs, all that stuff. Like, and I think this probably doesn't apply to everybody, but it's very possible that if you make yourself overly available, you're hurting yourself. To where if you're streaming every single day, you're overly available. People, oh, I'll just catch them next day. I'll just catch them the next day. But if you're only live 2 set days a week and you're consistent with that, people always know when you're live. People always know when to watch you next, and then gives them something maybe to look forward to. At least for me, it's been beneficial.
And I've noticed too, like I've seen McBango is live, and you're in the double digits viewership wise, and that's really big on Twitch. But to be in double digits live viewers, that's not an easy thing to do. That's like a top 1% thing to do.
It's weird too, because I'm just some guy. I'm gonna play the game anyways. What makes it
you're
so
not
special?
just you're not just some guy. You're special, McBango.
What makes me so
special.
special?
That's why you're the inaugural guest.
Oh well, thank you.
For those who don't know, Bango and I have been buddies online for, I would say, a couple of years now. Met through the drop shot, of course. And McBango is basically my American counterpart. We look similar. We have the same, well, not the same job, but we're in the same trade. Well, that's about it. But we're very similar. That's why I like Bango, because we're very fluid. I get along well with him. I have a lot of respect for Bango.
I got respect for you too, buddy. I appreciate you having me on.
Thanks, little buddy.
Are you excited for Warzone 2?
Am I? Yes. Yes, I am, actually. I'm very excited for Warzone 2, because from what I've seen so far, it's so much different from Warzone 1, which is what I'm all for. Warzone 1 is so washed. I'm over it.
Yeah.
One thing, which is just the most irrelevant thing, but it was a massive thing for me, is the sound effects and just the entire audio. Not footsteps, like the entire audio, like the beep, beep, beep of the fucking circle coming in, the honk that happens when the circle comes in, the announcers, all the sounds were just so boring. But now Warzone 2, it all sounds different, it all sounds fresh. So fresh, it's so new. It's like, I get that giddy feeling, like I'm excited to play BR.
Yeah. You're gonna have a slight nostalgic feeling.
Like, early Verdansk,
First experience,
I can still remember vividly my first Verdansk win. I was playing with my friend Ethan, my IRL friend Ethan, and this was when it was only trios only. Do you remember that? It was trios only in
Yeah.
OG Warzone.
Yeah.
So we duo queued, so we're doing duo trios, and I had like 4 kills the whole game, but I was like, I'm insane, I'm crazy, I'm winning. This is when wins mattered. I remember it was an airport finish, and we were in a building, obviously in airport, and there were the last team was on a staircase, and I downed 2 of them. My buddy got downed, but he didn't get fooled, so I downed 2 of them, rezzed him, and then we finished him. I don't know, it was a whole clusterfuck. I would have finished, I don't know. Anyway, a whole clusterfuck, and then we go down, and we're in the, you know, the underground tunnel?
Yep.
Yeah, so we're in the underground tunnel at airport, and we're like, where the fuck's this last guy? And the zone starts collapsing, and he gets super close. I'm like, oh, he must be above us. And so, you know, we're in the gas, we're freaking out, and all of a sudden, I think I had I literally think I had a stim, and I stimmed, and I got that extra health boost, and then all of a sudden, Warzone victory, because the other guy was way out of the zone, because he shot his gun right before he died, and this little red dot appeared fucking like 50 meters away. And I remember jumping out of my seat, I screamed, because we were roommates at the time, like housemates at the time, because we were renting a house together. And I screamed, jumped off, ripped off my headset, ran into the other room, and we were both like jumping up and down, going crazy because we got this Warzone win. Man, when wins mattered, oh, it was so good. Early Verdansk is so good, and that's what I'm so excited for. I want that same feeling in Warzone 2. Because right now, it's like, oh, you drop in, get your no recoil Vanguard gun that sounds like when you know how when you have a fucking a runny shit. That's what it sounds like. That's what suppressed weapons sound like in Vanguard. It's beep 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 beep. Awful.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's so boring. It's so boring to watch, to play. Not watch. I mean, if you're watching someone good like McBango FPS on Twitter and YouTube, and McBango on Twitch, watching him, it's fun because he's insane at sniping. But
yeah, I don't really get the thrill as much for Warzone wins that I did. Like, I still play to win. That's ultimately what I want to get, is that Warzone victory. But for me now, it comes from squad play, playing like trios or quads, and just having a very tough match. For me, it's the matches that are just kicking your ass over and over. You have to get bot back. You have to go to the gulag. Got to win. Got to regain. Get a new loadout. And you still somehow pull off the win. That's where I get hyped up, is when you defy all odds and you still make it work.
When the regain actually pays off.
So like now I could be playing solos and do a hot drop, get my loadout, start sniping everybody, die, get like 5th place, be like, oh well, I had 27. Meh.
Casually.
Like, I don't feel great about it. Like, I wanted the win there. Most people would be like, fuck yeah, 27, let's go, yeah! And it's just like, well, I didn't win.
Young people.
I didn't win. So it's not as great to me. I don't know. That's the thing about Battle Royales, is you have to outplay every opponent because you have to make the right decisions. You got to be in the right spot. And usually in a Battle Royale, when you die, you could have done something about it. Whether it was hit your shots in the gunfight or
have
a minute prior to taking that or a minute prior to even taking that gunfight, saying, I'm going to take this gunfight, but I'm going to do it from here, and relocating your character. So now, like, I just chase wins. Ultimately, I want to get the win. That feels good to me. I like the end game banter. People, you're such a camper, such a rat sniper. It's like, well,
you're such a cheater, dude. I'm reporting your account, dude.
Accusations are always
I love it when you scream at them in Russian. That's my favorite thing. Sometimes when Bang gets some angry comms, he just screams in Russian, and I laugh every time. It's fucking hilarious. Like, even
you're such a jumping pussy. Здравствуйте, я буду пить кофе, пожалуйста. And they're
always flabbergasted. They don't know how to respond to that.
It's like, dude, chill. I just ordered you pizza and coffee. That's all I did. It's fine.
Nah, I'll be saying some very choice words if I knew Russian. What's
Yeah,
that?
I
What's that
don't.
next little
I know how
topic
to say
here?
one sentence. So let's keep talking about Warzone 2.
Yeah. Oh,
You
sorry.
got
I
something
should have
written
asked.
down.
Sorry, my bad, man. What
Well,
are your
I
thoughts? Are
kicked it
you
off.
excited?
I hijacked it.
No, no, no.
Yeah, I'm
I went
excited
on
for
a
that
tangent
same
too.
feeling. I'm excited for the fresh feeling. That it's always a really special feeling when you play a new FPS and you're like, oh wow, look at this. This is cool. Oh wow, this feels great. I've never seen this before, and you're new to something. Like, do you remember the first time you played Overwatch? Because I do.
I never played
That
Overwatch.
was
I've never played it.
You never played
I've
Overwatch.
never played
I thought
Overwatch.
you did.
No,
Oh fuck.
I've never touched Overwatch. It's never interested
Oh,
me. From day one, I always thought, meh. I haven't even watched more than 5 minutes of gameplay for Overwatch. Literally,
that
I don't know
was
what it
such a
is.
crazy feeling the first time I played it. I was like, I've never seen anything like this. This is so cool. It's team based. There's characters. It's still an FPS. But anyways, we're already off topic. But we,
There's no topic. It's a podcast. We start off with a topic. We go off on a tangent. We talk. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of the show. Is I want people to come on and just talk. I don't care what you talk about. Just talk. If you want to talk about Warzone 2, fucking go ahead. We can talk about
here's
that
a
for
thought.
hours.
I had a thought the other day, a toilet thought, right?
Toilet thought. I have plenty of
Sniping
those.
in Warzone 2. So in the
Ooh.
current environment, we have two different types of snipers. We've got your close range, quick scope, one shot down within X amount of meters. And you've got your heavier, bulky, one shot down, all ranges. What if, now I'm not saying I'd like to see this, but
Oh, what's he
in
gonna come up with?
a future game, future FPS game, Battle Royale or something, maybe even a Call of Duty title. If all snipers one shot down across all ranges, but there's an added element to the ballistics. Wind. What if you had to
Oh,
account for wind? I was playing
fuck.
Sniper Ghost Warrior contracts a couple months ago, and there's wind in that game. Yeah, you've got travel time, bullet drop, but you've also got wind to deal with. And the first couple engagements in that game, I would hold the breath so it gives me the path of where the bullet's going to go. So I could kind of see roughly what I was working with. But then I'd find myself in some situations where maybe I'd alarm a guard or something. Now I've got a whole bunch of people chasing after me. And I'd have to start just ripping shots. And I wouldn't be holding breath. I would just be pulling up, saying, okay, the wind is southwest from 10 miles an hour. It's going to affect my bullet this way. And just start flinging bullets in the direction I thought they're going and started making contact. I don't know, man. I think that would be kind of fun. I think it'd be too difficult for most people, but I would like to see that implemented in an arcadey type shooter game to where you have
I
something else to deal with. And what if that affected all weapons a
I
little
see
bit?
where you're coming from, but saying that in the same sentence as arcadey would never work in my opinion. Because imagine 2 cents Timmy trying to line up a shot and then he misses because of wind, and then he goes to complain to Ted Titty Timmons, telling tall tales on the TL. But it'd be Ted Timmons would be going for the shot, be like, this doesn't work, and then he will change it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess
Hear me out, Sniper Ghost
pretty
Warrior Battle
gifted.
Royale.
Ooh,
Ooh. Could you
that could
imagine
be
a
fun.
Sniper's only Battle Royale? I mean,
Well,
it
okay,
would never
I've played in
work,
tournaments
but
that were snipers only supposedly, but I got Cali sticks shoved up
yeah,
my
fuck,
ass.
that was a joke.
That was a
That was
Cali
a
sticks stun
disaster.
grenade restock tournament, is what that was.
Oh, Arliss
There's
in
no
the chat saying
integrity.
they could possibly add wind mechanics to the DMZ mode
That would be
if they're
cool.
looking for a more
And
realistic
it doesn't
approach to
have to be
DMZs.
like extreme.
Even if you have to account for spin drop, just make spin drop.
Even if it was just something that only really took into effect when you're shooting long distance too. Just something to give those players that are good at trajectory calculation an extra element to add to their calculations so that when they are hitting shots, if somebody is hitting shots, you automatically know, okay, this guy's fucking insane.
Yes. Yeah. They'll be like,
You
oh,
know,
fuck, McBango shooting at me. Cool.
like, oh, I'm dead. Fuck.
Oh. Arliss again with the good little thing here. He said, imagine doing an assassination contract, sniping some target 800 meters away with a high power scope.
Pick up a bounty.
A long distance, like assassination bounty. maybe like you
Pick
get better
7 horse.
rewards, but that maybe it has to be from a certain distance. So the
Oh,
company only goes
I
through
see
if
what
it's
you're saying.
500
Like a
meters or so.
specific. Say there's like a challenge.
Like you
Okay.
get an advanced UAV if you get the like 500-meter assassination headshot, whatever. That
That would be
could
so hard
that would be
on.
very
Huh?
interesting. I would that'd be very interesting to watch play out. Alice, I think you're
There's
onto
not
something there.
there's not many lines of sight where you can get shots over 500 meters on Caldera. Most of the lines of sight that are long distance kind of cap out around like 400, 500, because there's so much like haze and fog that when you're at an elevated position, if you're looking anywhere that could be that far away, it's really tough to see your target. But
Yeah.
that's where that spotter scope thing comes in handy.
Oh, please tell the viewers, tell the podcast listeners about the spotter scope. Because McBango with a spotter scope, I thought he was fucking stupid initially. I was like, why are you using that? And then I watched him for one game. Oh my god. Tell us about it, buddy.
Well,
Tell us about it.
so they released the spotter scope in Warzone. You could not equip it in your loadout, which is sad. I wish you could. And I get it. Nobody's crying about it because I'm the only one that fucking uses the item. I've 2 times in all of the Warzone that I've played have I killed somebody that was actively looking through a spotter scope. Only twice. And so I remember picking one up. I'm like, what the hell? Dude, my cat is going insane.
Moose. Can we
Shut
get a
up.
moose appearance?
Oh, he's right down here. It's not showing, but
We love
I
moose.
remember picking that thing up, being on a rooftop. I'm just like, okay, let's check this item out. Pulling it up to my stupid fucking face, and I'm looking through the scope, and I can see so far away. I can see like everything, and then I see at the bottom of the screen, press N for thermal. So I press
The
that button, and all
thermal.
of a sudden there's like 3 white spots on my scope, and I can live ping them. It's like 1,000 meters away. You can see these people. If they have cold blood, there's still an icon on their body. They're not hidden. They're harder to see, but they still have an icon.
If
Well,
you
there
are
was a
competent with a
silent
sniper,
nerf
I
to it.
couldn't recommend it more. Just give it a go.
They nerfed it.
Did they?
Yeah, I used to have a unlimited thermal range long into the life cycle of Verdansk, and then at some point they changed it. Never said anything about it in patch notes because they knew nobody would be affected by it except for me because I'm the only one that uses that thing. But yeah, especially on Caldera, if you have a spotter scope and you're sniping, just use that thing to scan around, spin 360 degrees looking through that thing before you move from location to location. You move from one hilltop to another. Before you hit a balloon, quickly check around you, balloon onto a spot. If you don't immediately see people, use that spotter, use that thermal, because it will surprise you at how effective it is at just finding people you otherwise would not have seen. And then people in bushes. I swear
Oh,
half
the
the
bush
people that I
rats.
kill that I find with a spotter scope are just chilling in a dark corner or in bushes. And I play mostly solos, so that's really, really useful that I don't have to worry about running across somebody's screen, their aim assist dragging to me, and they're in a bush. It's because they died a long time ago.
And for a game
I
with such
already got
shit visibility, having that advantage, whew, game changer.
Yeah. I need more water. I'm gonna be right back though.
Yeah, all good, buddy.
A thirsty little boy.
This little boy, we'll take a little pause. Take a little pause. It's all right. I
Alright.
was gonna actually buy a racing style gaming chair, but I sweat quite a bit out of my little tushy, and I need something that can breathe.
Yeah, I need something like that too.
I have
There just wasn't a lot of chairs
an
out at the
Office
time. Like it was
Works
only these
vintage
when I bought
chair.
this.
All right, we'll go back on topic. Where are we at? Where are we at? So we're talking about Warzone 2. Okay, here's a good one. What are your favorite games, both past and present, or maybe some underrated, no, bangers of games? What do you got for me?
Probably my favorite FPS experience was Battlefield 4. Um,
Ah,
I think
Battlefield 4.
I was just the best aimer that I've ever been during those years. It was in like my mid 20s, early mid 20s when I was playing that game.
At his
And
peak.
I was just insane. Um, I played a really, really high DPI growing up. due to that small mouse pad surface area that I had. So I was around like anywhere between like 26 and 3200 DPI.
Jesus.
Yeah, I would just
For
turn the
reference, what
in-game
do you want now?
sensitivity 1200.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I'm 800
1200 with
gang.
a mouse surface.
You got a SkyPad 3.0, don't you? Or 2?
Yeah, I had the 2, and then they announced the 3 like a week after I got the 2. I was like,
That's
well,
right,
shit.
yeah. I remember that.
Honestly, it's the SkyPad is a great product. Let's see, because I've liked hard pads over cloth pads for I don't even know what reason really. It just felt better to me, speed wise maybe. But having an extra large surface that's a hard pad that you can clean easily, doesn't wear down because it's not made of plastic. You can get that factory new feeling just by wiping it down with a glass cleaner. That helped me break through an aim plateau I was stuck on for maybe I I don't know, 5 years. I just never got any better at FPS games. My aim just never improved. I was just like, "Well, I'm getting old." That was my excuse. That's what I was thinking. Honestly, no. I just had to get the right weight on a mouse. I went from a heavy mouse. I was using Logitech G502 for a long time, almost 10 years. I was using that platform of mouse. And then I saw Razer Basilisk was the exact same shape, had the same button layout for the most part with the tilt wheel, but it was like 20 to 30 grams lighter. I tried that out and I liked how it felt. And then I ordered a glorious Model O ultralight and immediately noticed a difference with my tracking with that lightweight mouse on that SkyPad surface. And I was just hoping and praying that they would come out with like a 502 clone. Well, sure as shit, they came out with the Model I, which has the exact same shape of a 502, and that's ultimately what I really liked about that mouse is the shape.
Model
It
I,
just
what?
felt good in the hand.
You wanted to show me the Model I? I don't think I've seen that one.
Model I.
Right. Oh yeah,
Get, get,
I've
get,
got the Model D, which I prefer. I prefer this shape. So I say the Model I's got like that. Okay, yeah, it's kind of like an old
there.
school mouse. By the looks of it, it's got a thumb
Just
rest.
a
Yeah.
Ergo mouse.
See, you talk about Model O. I don't like symmetrical mice. They don't really work for me. I had
Yeah,
like some
me either.
tiny little fucking Cooler Master mouse for ages. The MM710, I'm pretty sure it's called. And I switched to the Model D. Model D plus SkyPad, my aim went fucking bonkers. Like, just insane. It just works. And at the moment, have you seen the new glorious? Let me just pull this up real quick. Glorious. I think it's called Forge Pro. So let me Forge Series 1. I'll just bring this up on stream real quick. So this is their new like higher range mouse. It's symmetrical, but it looks really nice. It's a similar size to the Model D. It's 160 Australian. It looks fucking incredible, and it's wireless, which I like. I'm so sick of wires. I'll be rocking one of those very soon. They come out end of next month.
What is it that you're interested with it?
Oh,
Is it
well,
extra light? Is it?
it's lighter. It's the same dimensions as, or very similar dimensions, but it's a tiny bit smaller than the Model D, but it's like 20 grams lighter. I feel like the Model D, I'm starting to notice the weight. Like, I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but
Noticing the weight, I find that
yeah,
funny
like
because
sorry, you
the
go.
Model I is literally half of the weight from the 502.
Oh my god,
It's half of the weight. Yeah.
the Model D
Model or
is
the 502 is like 135 grams.
Jesus. That's a chunky
Oh,
boy. Well, Model D is 69 grams. Ha, funny number. But
giggity.
the Forge Series 1 is like 51, I think. I'm excited to see how that feels because I want to upgrade my mouse because I don't know. I like the Model D, but I'm starting to get a little bit over it. Plus, I'm so sick of the cord. It seems a bit too
You know,
cheap. I don't know.
I think I probably would like
Rattles.
track better if I used a Model D. Um, the Model I, the shape of it And the way that I grip my mouse, it's very natural and comfortable, and I think it's probably just because of so many years of using a mouse with this exact shape. But I think that also lends itself to sniping too. Um, I find myself using less of like a claw grip when I'm really trying to get fine-tuned precision and move the cursor just a few pixels when my fingers are more of not like a palm grip, but that shape, the shape your hand would be resting in if you're using a palm grip, kind of just relaxed. The way that the Model I is, my fingertips when I'm resting on the mouse, my hand retains that same shape. So I can still use my fingertips, but I've also got the stability that I get from the grip that I use.
Yeah.
Grant,
So
I
what?
mean, there's probably people out there that could assess my grip and everything and say "Well, you could even improve on that." But for just casually playing video games and trying to get better that way and not really taking it that seriously, this has been fantastic pairing. The Model I or just any glorious mouse really and a SkyPad. Such a good surface for aiming.
Glorious make really good products for their value. Like my Model D cost
Yeah,
me
it's cheap.
less than 100 Australian, which is like
It's
what,
cheap.
70 US. It's been fantastic. Also, what kind of mouse grip do you have? Because I run a hybrid, so I'm kind of like palm. So the streaming, I'm kind of like palm on the base of the like the back of the mouse. But I've got a claw and also kind of like a fingertip. I'm a bit of a. It's really weird. How do you grip yours?
Yeah, it's about the same.
Yeah.
This
Here's
is a white.
a spicy take. I use my pinky to I use it as a brake.
Yep, I've always done that.
Oh, I'm not an
I
anomaly.
don't
Thank
really
you.
do it that much anymore. It's kind of hard to hold this, but there's a bit of a gap between the back of the mouse and my palm.
Yeah.
So if I have to pull back with my fingertips, there's room for that. But otherwise, like the tips of my fingers are all kind of pinched together. So especially when sniping, I'm kind of really almost death gripping the mouse. But I'm just pinching my pinky, my ring finger, towards my thumb and then squeezing with my thumb. So I have stability on the left and the right side of the mouse so that when I'm just trying to gently track left and right in front of the target when they're moving, at attack sprint speed, a couple hundred meters away, that I can get just the right amount of distance in front of them without making it too difficult. But there are times too, if you're playing for a while and you get hand fatigue, especially when you get older, this will happen. Like I'm 30 years old for anybody that's listening. I've been playing for quite a while. My wrists are fucked from my career. So I have to kind of adapt to things. I can't really wrist aim anymore the way I used to. I used to keep my palm planted and just pivot my wrist. I've had to completely adapt everything because of just lack of mobility in my wrists. But when you can pinch that mouse together and then just gently move it, it feels like you have more stability for that really fine-tuned pixel control. But that really only lends itself to gunfights where you're not getting shot at, right? To where if you're sniping and you have the time to take and line everything up. I don't know, weird tangent.
No, I agree with you. I'm starting to feel that too because I moved up. I live where I'm living now. Sorry, where I'm living now. I moved up here about was it the end of about 2 years ago. Oh, actually, yeah, about 2 years ago I moved up here, and for the first 8 months I was here, I did concreting, and before that I was a log scaler. So for those who don't know what a log scaler is, I basically got measurements of big timber logs or whatever, and I put them into a thing. I scanned barcodes and all that. It was just basically doing this, like almost like a steering wheel, just doing that with a little. I had like a all I had to do was basically put my finger on a trigger to scan barcodes. So that was very lightweight, but it was all outdoor. So I was somewhat active. But I moved up here for the first 8 months. I did concreting. That 8 months of concreting, I got, and I did patching as well. So like I build road barriers and I have to patch them. So it's just basically like a sander doing circular motions with my hand and wrist all day.
Oh, yeah.
That I got RSA from that. I had to go on light duties for a while, and now since I've started welding, I've been welding for about a year now, or a bit over a year, about a year and a half. And yeah, I'm starting to feel that now. My wrists are nowhere near as mobile as I used to be. So I'm actually, I used to be a wrist aimer. I was on 4 centimeters per 360 when I was on PC. When I switched to PC a couple of years. Yep, 4 centimeters per 360. Been on PC for about 2.5 years. I did that for 4 centimeters because I was a wrist aimer. I had so much control and freedom on my wrist, but now it's just, I don't know, maybe I'm 23 now. I'm getting old. Starting to get old. No, not 23. So I'm 22. Turning 23 soon. But getting old, fucking, you know, heavy work. My wrists are getting fucked. So I'm switching to arm aiming, and it's actually been better for me. I've noticed like my tracking is insane. Not insane, but my
Dude, your
tracking
tracking
is so much
is
better.
really good. I love playing with you and then spectating and just seeing what you're doing. I'm like, holy fuck, dude! Like,
Remember
miss
that
a
time?
bullet, Ricochet's gonna ban you. Fucking A.
I remember that time we were on top of Peak in Caldera, and there was a guy up in a chopper, like it would have been 200 meters in the air,
I
and I
remember this.
perfectly tracked that motherfucker out of the air. And I remember you saying,
I remember
"Ooh,
this.
Aussie."
Yeah, I remember that.
That's one
Fucking
thing I
A.
can do. I can track.
Yeah. See, that's my weakness. I'm very good at like flicking to a spot. Um, and like when I was growing up, there was no aim trainers, there was no Kovacs, there was no aim lab, there wasn't all these crazy different weights of mice. You know, it was just if it was a gaming mouse, it means it had extra buttons and a little bit of a faster laser. That was it.
Oh, I remember.
But
I
I
didn't.
would
Oh, sorry.
like
Here you go.
so like I'd be in game and I would just be kind of not getting shot at wherever I was. And I'd look at a spot on my screen with my peripherals and I would just practice flicking to that spot. Just flicking my aim to that same spot over and over and over. Look at a different spot, flick there. All of a sudden, my eyes would just be darting around the screen, looking at all these different spots and just flicking to them. But I was never had to practicing tracking. That wasn't an element to games that I was playing as
Yeah,
much.
exactly. You don't ever track in CS:GO
Yeah,
or any texture
I
like
did
that.
my
Or
own
very rarely.
aim training that way.
Yep.
But that lends itself to sniping too, being able to immediately point right at the target so that when that scope pops up, you have to do just a small micro adjustment and then pull the trigger. So
Well,
it all has paid
is
off.
one thing you're probably not considering. You're a lot better at tracking than you give yourself credit for, because tracking is an element of obviously of staying on target and hitting your shots. But what you're not realizing is your tracking. It's strong in the sense of you're leading a target. And I've watched you do this dozens and dozens of times. Is someone's free falling in the air and you're tracking
Hmm.
their trajectory, and then you pull that trigger, bang, dead.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, I
happened.
guess it is. You know, it's
You got
like
to give yourself a bit more credit.
it's knowing how far in front of that target you got to shoot because maybe the previous bullet only chunked them a little bit, so you know that you hit them lower torso, whatever, and they're falling head first. You got to track farther in front. Yeah, I can see that, but a lot of it too lends itself because when I would snipe prior to changing the peripherals that I'm using, I would just put my cursor in front of the target and wait for them to walk into where I thought the shot had to go.
Yep.
And I still do that from time to time. Sometimes if I miss shots when I'm trying to like drag scope it, as people call it, um, I have to just quickly assess what's wrong. Is it my tracking? It's not good enough. And then look at where the target's headed, hold the cursor there, know he's 300 meters away, moving perfectly broadside to me, aim 4 body lengths, you know, 4 of his character models ahead of him, and then shoot. And then I'd make connection. And then it would click in my brain, okay, that's the distance I need to be tracking at relative to the distance from the target.
Yep.
Um, and that's one thing that I would suggest when people want to get better at sniping in Warzone. And when I say sniping, I'm not referring to running around quick scoping. No, I'm saying like the longer distance shots that normally people don't take. You can hit those shots. You just have to get the reps in. You have to just send them downrange and start making contact and take mental pictures every single engagement. So if you're shooting at some dude that's across from mines and you're on the peak side of mines, that's about 400 meters away, roughly. If you're shooting at somebody, take mental pictures every single time you pull the trigger, how far in front of them you were leading, how high up you were adjusting for bullet drop. And when you start making contact, add a little bit more to it. Know how much you let them the previous shot, add a little bit more. And then you're going to start getting headshots, those one shot downs. And when you get those one shot downs, that's going to register in your brain. Like that's that dopamine hit that I mentioned
Oh
earlier.
yeah.
You're going to remember that a lot more.
Yeah, chase that
Because if you
feeling.
just hit somebody and you crack their plates, you don't know if you hit them in the torso, the neck. You don't know if they're weak. You hit them in the arm, the leg. But if you get that one shot down, you pretty much know you hit them in the head. So take mental pictures when you're in long range sniping engagements. How far in front of them you're leading. And if you're shooting at a target that's in a chopper or driving a car, or God forbid, a fucking bomber plane,
Oh,
do the same
yuck.
thing, but use like a different metric instead of thinking like character body lengths, like shoulder widths, maybe. Think of, okay, that guy was, I aim half a car length in front of that guy to hit him, or a full car length, or two airplane lengths, and then you can hit the pilot. Don't be afraid to take crazy shots because you'll never hit them if you don't. And once you start doing it, it becomes so addicting and you will find yourself having way more fun with the game.
That's right. And some of the best shots that I've ever had while sniping is just, I'm gonna fucking go for it, see what happens. And then you hit it. Whoa, the dopamine rush, man.
Yep.
You're so
Yeah.
spot on with that. And then you chase that feeling.
It's funny. Last weekend I was playing duos, just doing a random fill, and I got this teammate on my team, and I liked his vibes. I was enjoying just talking to him, goofing off, and I was hitting, just doing my thing, hitting snipes, and he's like, "Dude, you're fucking insane!" And I was like, "Yeah, man, just doing my thing, man. I'm just out here killing."
Big
And
chilling,
then
big
he's like, "You
killing.
gotta give me that 3-line build." So, okay, I gave him the 3-line build. He was on controller, so I recommended he use just the standard default scope or else the 4x8. And at the time, I was using the 10x because I was really just trying to get some really nasty long range shots. And the first engagement we get in after he grabs his loadout with the 3-line build, he shoots at a chopper. First bullet hits the pilot, and I swear to God, his mic was clipping and my ears were bleeding. He was so excited. He's like, "Dude, it was amazing. Oh my god." And that was thrilling to me, like to
That
see him
is
all hyped
awesome.
up. And I love that for when people can watch what I do and then come back and give me feedback or send me a clip, say, "Look what I did." And you're just tell me, "Hey man, I've gotten so much better just by watching you. I'm getting repetitions for sniping just by watching you do it." Then I can go home, boot up the game, set up that build, and start hitting those same shots. And it's like, hell yeah, dude.
You're
Hell
an
yeah. I
excellent
love it.
mentor because when you and I were on that grind, buddy, when we were playing really like very often, obviously at the start, I could tell. I know you don't have to hide it, but I could tell you were getting pissed off with me sometimes. You
I
know,
get
because
pissed
I'm
off at everybody. So it's not
true.
just you. Don't worry about it.
Like, you know, I'd be running off, trying to get clips, just acting like a fool, dying. But the more we played, the more you taught me, the more I switched on. We were getting to the point where we were getting really consistent. Like we were getting wins, we were getting high kill wins. It was getting pretty damn good. We need to get back on that grind. We need to get back into some duos, man. You need to
Early
start teaching me how
Caldera,
to.
we had like a
Oh,
30% win rate.
dude, we were nuts early Caldera.
And we were getting, 20 plus kills each. We were
Oh no,
frying, we
not
were
me, not
sending
me. I
everything.
to this day, I can't get over the psychological barrier of getting to 20 kills. I haven't hit a 20 kill main BR game yet. I've got 18. I've got 18 with you, and then there were 3 left, and I pushed one guy, and yeah, had the blicky, and the visual recoil threw me off, and I died. But
Oh no.
you clutched up for us, but I don't know what it is. Like in Rebirth, I got 22, which sounds
It's
good, but it's not.
your E-Peen's getting hard is what's happening.
Well, here's the
You're
one
just like,
thing.
"Oh my god, I can kill them all and get the 20." Like, okay, settle down, relax, and kill
Breathe.
them all.
Yeah. But no, I just thought I'd
Chill
rush
and
down
kill
a
them all.
fucking cliff with a Blixen. And I got railed by I think it would have been an STG at the time. I was like, well, Josh, you're a fool.
Well, that'll happen. I still do the same shit, man. Especially lately, I've been doing a lot more like quick scope sniping. I'm trying to, just shake the cobwebs
You've hit some
loose.
slutty shots. I've seen them.
Yeah, I've just been trying to like shake the cobwebs loose and sharpen back up on that skill because I can do it.
Yeah.
I can quick scope very well. It's just to me, it's not as exciting as hitting a long range shot because there's more to it. It's less muscle memory and more about thinking about it. And I like that approach to video games. I like having to think about what I'm doing because I feel that's rewarding. It's like chess. You know, the first time you win a game of chess, you feel pretty fucking good because you had to outplay them, you know?
That's right. I suck at chess. Yeah, now that I think about it, I play first-person shooter games like I play chess. Super aggressive, no strategy. I'm
That's
awful at
okay,
chess.
though.
I know how it works. I know how to take out pieces, but I don't know how to go about doing it consistently and correctly. So yeah, dude, this has been fantastic. I'm feeling a lot more comfortable.
Yeah,
This is good.
I
This is
can
good.
tell.
We
Here's
will
another
have
thought.
to. Oh, yep.
I have another thought with
Bring it on.
sniping. So, when it comes to shooting at long distance targets, um, don't be deterred by the distance away. Just because that guy's 600 meters away, don't be afraid to shoot at him.
What's he
Because
gonna
I
do?
truly,
Turn on you and beam you with his KGM 40? Well, honestly, you probably could
yeah,
because it's Caldera
you
and
could, yeah.
Vanguard. But yeah,
Well, so like, what that's gonna help you do is if you use the same rifle consistently, get used to the velocity and the bullet drop. That's one thing you really have to think about. And you have to get the repetitions in with. Um, find a reticle, whether it's got multiple lines um, vertically on the crosshair, or if it's a fucking smiley face and you're aiming with the bottom of the circle because of a certain distance. Pick a point on that reticle and learn how far that bullet goes until it hits that spot. So, for example, the Swiss that has a little plus in the middle of the reticle, if you max out your velocity with the combat recon barrel and the GRU suppressor or wrap suppressor, the bottom of that plus is perfectly 350 meters for
ah,
bullet drop. So if
that's
you
some big brain info there.
and this brings in another point, live ping every target before you shoot at it so you can see the distance. So that you see that guy, oh,
Oh yeah.
he's 310 meters. Okay, don't put the very bottom of the plus on his head, put it where his neck is.
Yep.
Boom, one shot headshot. Do that with the rifle that you use consistently, and don't be afraid to shoot at long distance shots to try to figure out where that bullet goes at 500, 600 meters. Because eventually you're going to start to see it. And if you can hit those shots at really long distance, that's going to make everything closer than, let's just say 600 meters is the distance we're talking about. If you hit a 600-meter shot, one bullet headshot, anything closer than that is going to be between the point of aim that you used for that shot and the perfect zero of the dead center of the reticle. So you can kind of dial it back a little bit. Okay, 450 meters, not quite as much. Aim a little bit lower. Boom, you hit your shot. Now you've got 450 meters figured out, and you've got, okay, also figure out where the bullet drop starts. That's a big point. So for the 3 line with max velocity, it doesn't really start dropping until about 250 meters. So anything 250 meters, just aim at their head. If they're at 250, aim at the top of their head, just for a safe measure. So now you've got the perfect spot for no bullet drop and where bullet drop starts. You can hit all those shots. So then you figured out the shot at 450 meters. Now, if you got a target at 350, it's halfway between those 2 points. Make sense?
Yeah.
Like if you can figure out a certain distance where the bullet's going to hit with your bullet drop and get enough repetition in there, you're going to start seeing more consistency with your one shot downs, which is going to ultimately lead to a better Warzone sniping experience. Or sniping in any video game, Battlefield, anything with bullet drop.
Have you
Do
done much
that. Figure out the
sniping?
velocity.
Have you done much sniping in Battlefield 2042? I know you played a little bit, not much.
I've done a little.
Doesn't feel
I was
right.
having fun. Yeah, I
Something's
don't
off
know.
about it. I don't know.
I think when I played the game, it just didn't feel right because
Yeah,
it
true.
wasn't right, you
Hey,
know.
it's better than Modern
But
Warfare
I
2 right now.
was super intrigued with the idea of the wingsuit, of cutting that wingsuit, hitting a snipe, and then pulling the
Ooh,
wingsuit again and just flying off somewhere
yes,
else,
there's been a
rinse,
couple
repeat.
really nice clips going around of that.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
that's what I wanted to do. And
Dude,
set goals for yourself sniping related too, for sure. Like understand where your weakness is. I'm terrible at shooting at people in vehicles. Okay, start shooting at every vehicle you see. If you're not hitting them and all you're seeing is a little hit marker for hitting the vehicle, you're not aiming far enough in front. Start shooting so far in front of the vehicle to where you start missing shots and then dial it back a hair. So the farther away the distance and the more you lead a target, if you're missing, you know it's less, typically. Um, and you can just kind of calculate from there. You got to have points of reference. Um, and that applies with every sniper you use. And
just
understand the
repetition,
velocity,
repetition, repetition. Then you
the bullet
understand.
drop. Yep. Reps until you have a good points of reference. Yeah. And what else can I say? What probably the hardest thing about sniping in Warzone when you're not playing solos and when you're playing with other people is it's not so much your job, it's the play style of your teammate. They just have to be conscious of the fact they have a sniper on their team. Like if you ping a shot, ping somebody that's whoops 400 meters away so that you can gauge the distance so you can get that perfect one shot down for the entry picks. So when you balloon on top of them, you've got the upper hand. Talk to your teammate and say, hey, don't shoot at that guy, please. Because what are they going to do? They're going to spray bullets with an STG and just make the guy seek cover. Now he knows that there's a team coming from there.
Exactly.
And now you have no window of entry into that gunfight. Uh, I would say it's pretty tough playing with people that don't typically play with snipers because they don't understand the strengths and weaknesses of it, and they don't know how to play around it. And they don't have to do a lot. They don't have to completely change their playstyle. They just have to be conscious. You know, one of my favorite things to hear is bango, and then hear the ping sound, and I look and there's a target just sitting there, sitting there.
Well,
I know that my
I've done
teammate
that to you a few
probably
times.
could kill them, probably, but they know that I'm going to. They ping it, they just start moving forward because they know I'm going to hit the shot. Now
That's
they're already halfway through closing the distance, and they're up there fucking their ass.
how many times have I said or pinged someone that's either flying in or on a chopper. I say, "Bango, that's you," and then I hear, "Douche, douche." Oh, got him! So
Yeah.
many times, so many times.
Yep.
And there's also been instances like you just said, ping for the sniper. We've been playing games. I say, "All right, Bango, there's a guy up there." I ping, and then I focus on the guy closer. And so you're busy taking heads off 300 meters away, and I'm clearing out what's in front of us 100 meters away, kind of thing. You got to
Yep.
play to everyone's strengths. So my strengths are mid-range gunfights, up close, but not quite in buildings. Your strengths, obviously is everything, but mostly sniping. So you're taking care of the people that are further away. I'm up close, kind of trying to clear our close quarters path, and it just works. You got to get that synergy with your players. So
Mhm.
obviously play to your strengths, and you'll have a lot more success in Warzone. Like I've been there's so many times I've seen someone, even when I have a sniper, the few times I've been sniping at the same time. I don't really do it much when I'm with you because it's like 250 ping, but I'll see a guy running 400 meters away. I won't even bother taking a shot. I'll just ping and say, "Bango, you got this," and I'll see someone 200 meters away and I'll take a shot at them. Like
Yep.
you gotta know how to use the sniper on your team.
You also have to keep in mind too, as the sniper, that your teammates, they need you up close as well. So you have to assess when it's okay to hang back and take shots from a distance and when you need to join the fight up close because you might not have to get downs on people. All you got to do is have your presence there so that they start shooting shots at you. They're not looking at your teammates who are being aggressive. Um, just be somewhere in the gunfight at times, and you don't have to get up close. You just have to be a problem for the enemy team. So if they know that there's a sniper, that's one of the greatest things is when you are playing like trios or quads and you come up on this team and you immediately down somebody for an entry pick for your team, that team, or if you down 2 people out of them, that team knows that that sniper is a problem, and they either have to take cover from him or they have to kill him immediately. So, when your teammates know that that is how teams react to being sniped at, they can position themselves way far ahead of you. You might be up on a high spot, up on a hill, up on a building, whatever. Um, it enables both parties, both play styles, as long as each other knows the strengths and weaknesses, when to do what. And you can only really achieve that through communication most of the time. And if you're out there listening and you want to snipe, but your friends get really pissed off at you because you're never in a gunfight with them, don't be afraid to talk to them. If you're playing the game with them, you're friends with them, right? You got something in common. You should be able to communicate with them about the say, hey, that gunfight, we probably could have won if, you know, had you live ping those targets. And that brings up another point. For your teammates that are not sniping, even if it's not a really far shot, if they can live ping every single target they're using, assuming they're not using Combat Scout, that's going to be majorly beneficial for you to know exactly where to aim your scope, because it's oftentimes very tough to try to find the target that people are like, oh, he's right there. And you're like, where? I don't know. I don't know where I'm supposed to aim my stupid fucking gun. Help me out here. Ping him. Boom. They give you the ping. Oh, yeah, easy. Boom. Gotcha.
And
So
also,
it's super important.
if you're unable to get the live, what I like to do is I open up my map and I put a ping on the general area. I say, Bango, I saw movement over in this area. And then you can look and you might see him peek over a rock, bang, dead. But yeah, at least you know the general area if you can't get the live. That's super critical too. I always like to ping where I see movement.
Yeah.
If I can't get the live, open my little tac map, scroll down, like, yep, within these buildings here, click, and they get a ping 250 meters away. Okay, someone in that area, either we have to look out for them or, well, avoid them. So either we avoid them or, Bango just has a look. He maybe gets to a higher point, gets the height advantage, bang, dead. So it's the information, sharing of information is super critical to a successful Warzone game, especially if you're playing with a good squad.
Yep. And getting an entry pick is huge too. Like if you can keep your teammates on a leash until you get a first down,
then you can
and
just
then you
rush like
unclip
chimps.
that leash and just say, go get them, boys.
Oh yeah.
Then you've got it in the bag.
If you've got that one entry pick and one of them is down, they're in shambles. They're like, oh fuck, because that doesn't take one person out of the gunfight, that takes two. Because 9 times out of 10, they're going to get instantly rezzed if they don't have a self. And they're going to be, so basically it's 3 on 2 with a sniper at the back also either getting finishes or just laying suppressive fire. Because there's nothing more terrifying than when you're hearing that crack of the bullet of a sniper. Especially if you don't know where it's coming from. You're like, I can't leave this cover because might get my head ripped off. And then you hear 3 just sweats pushing you with their automatic weapons and you get scared and then you're thrown in a blender and then you're dead.
Yep.
Entry picks are so crucial. That's why I always recommend playing with a good sniper. Play with Bango.
I learned in Counter-Strike that the entry pick is huge. And it's not relative to sniping, but playing passively enough to where you can knock the enemy team from, 5 players down to 4. If you can do that, you have the numbers advantage. Theoretically, you're going to win that gunfight. Just getting that entry pick. And it's funny, I should have started streaming when I played CSGO, when I was really into that, like 2012 through like 2015. Because for a while, like I started getting irritated with the game, because when you play ranked games, you could have a group of friends that you play the game with, but some of them could be holding you back from progressing in your ranks. And if what you really want to do is grind those ranks, you have to sometimes replace them on your team if you're trying to get really good, because maybe they can't clutch or they keep making mistakes or whatever.
Or they don't have as much
And that was an
interest
experience
as
that
you.
I had, is eventually I was just getting so frustrated trying to grind ranks, try to build the right roster for all the maps, all the play styles, that I gave up and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna use a scout. All I'm gonna do is use a scout. I could use an op. I could one shot somebody to the chest. That's fine, but it's way more fun to get that scout headshot.
Scout headshot is so cool, dude.
And I would play for a while. I would just play Dust 2. It'd be on CT side of spawn. I'd immediately run mid with the scout, run and bunny hop across the gap from the doors where the terrorists will be shooting from T spawn straight down, and see right where somebody was sitting in their spawn. But what I would do when I would bunny hop it is I'd pull up the scope, make my jump. When I would cross the threshold of the gap of the door, see where that target is, and then so I would be holding D to strafe right, hit spacebar to jump, cross the door, tap A to completely stop my character's movement midair, and then shoot through the door and hit the target. I was
Ooh.
so fucking good at that. And I could just do it back and forth. One shot moving right, strafe back, do it moving left. Go, it would be, you'd move backwards so you could kind of go up that slight incline and look towards the catwalk where people would be pushing from mid, hit those shots. And I got so good at doing that to the point to where we'd have such a point advantage in the score that teams would just push through lower B. They're like, all right, we got to kill that guy with the fucking scout. He's just picking us all off one by one every game. So then I would recognize that and just tell one of my teammates, all right, this is what's going to happen. They're going to start pushing lower. Instead of going 2A, 2B, me and mid, 1B, 2 in mid, 2 at A. And just have that teammate on your side. It was a fun time. I should have done that because it was so entertaining. It got called a cheater so many fucking times. It was just amazing.
Awesome.
Because most of my kills were through the wall.
Sus.
Yeah, there is all
Sus.
wallbang kills for the most part.
And for those who don't know Dust 2 on CSGO, basically the CT spawn, counter spawn is up on, you got elevations basically on a road, and then
That'd
you
be
look and then you have a
T-spawns on the elevation.
wait, T spawns on the elevator. Oh, that's right. CT, sorry. You're lower elevation, and there's two big wooden doors. One's creaked open, so there's a tiny little like 1 foot gap that you can see through to all the way down the middle lane, and then you can see the T spawn where they're up on basically a road, and there's a concrete barrier they can peek over. So only their upper body and their heads showing, and they always get better line of sight because they can aim there with their snipers. And your full body, when crossing that little gap in the door, is visible, whereas only their upper body and head is visible. So to get a B hop across that small door gap from the CT side, and then get a little dink on the upper body, that's not easy to do. Like if their full body was showing, maybe it'd be a bit easier, but you've only got a tiny little window of opportunity. That B hop, you have about a 0.3 of a second to see someone, and then get that target acquisition and kill someone. Very difficult to do. I haven't done it very many times.
Know what's sad?
What?
At least in CSGO, they've changed the map to where you can't do that anymore.
Really?
They've changed T-spawn to where there's like a low-hanging wall to where if you want to aim from T-spawn down that middle lane through those doors, you have to drop down and move forward.
What?
So they've changed that. They've changed
That must be recent.
The doors. You can't shoot through the doors anymore.
But you can't wallbang them?
Can't wallbang them. They used to be wooden doors. Now they're like thick steel doors. You can't shoot through them anymore. Yeah. They took away what was fun for me.
Dude, I had so many awesome sus clips of like start of round at T-side. I'd grab my AWP and they'd smoke and I'd still get the shots through the smoke. Or like I'd see him cross the door and I'd do a little flick and smack him through the door. It used to be so fun.
Oh, if I was on T-spawn, I would just aim at it would be your left-hand door where they're going to be jumping across. I'd aim on the door and I'd aim high because everybody jumps. Everybody jumps. Now just aim at a certain spot. When they'll jump, pull the trigger. If I didn't get the kill, I probably hit them and did some damage to them. And if I saw blood splat on the wall, I would comment out to my team, all right, wounded one at B. So then they would take the bomb to B.
There you go.
Just fun shit like that. Like you have to make games fun.
That also builds on the premise of entry picks.
It does.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
Even if you get a tag, hit someone with a scout upper body that's like at least half their health.
It's like 70 damage or so.
70 damage, and they're basically a 1 or 2 shot at most. So
Yep.
you don't like aiming for head is super important, but if you get that entry pick, you don't have to be as precise. Like you can see him and you can be a bit more risky and just take that spray. So you have to hit him with one bullet.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not a
miss
CS:GO
those.
pro by all means. I'm not a CS:GO pro. I only have about
I was
150 hours in it.
Yeah, I was never like super good. I played a lot. I have thousands of hours of Counter Strike throughout the years, but when it came to like ranked, I got to Supreme first class. I think it's like second from the highest. I think it's the one below Global Elite. But once
Ooh,
I got to
that's a
that
fucking
point,
high rank.
uh, the game wasn't fun for me anymore because I was playing against cheaters, I was playing against fucking pro Smurfs, and I didn't have teammates that got to that level with me. They were all, you know, Legendary Eagle or a couple ranks below, and they just couldn't keep up. And I had a hard time keeping up with a lot of those players too. I just leaned on my strength. And I think that's an important thing to do is find out what you're good at in FPS games, work on what you're not as good at, but lean heavily on the thing that you are good at. Develop some sort of skill, something that you're good at. And I'm God forbid it's not riot shield, stuns, and fucking Cali sticks, something like that in Warzone. Please don't
So
let that be the skill.
yeah,
But
it's a
it's a
lot
shooting
easier.
game, goddammit.
It's a lot easier to build on a concrete foundation than it is a pile of mud.
Yeah. Yep.
So if
But if you
you're,
find something that's fun, lean on that hard too. Make sure you're having fun at the
oh
games
yeah,
because if you're
definitely.
not having fun, you'll never really get good
I
because it's a time investment too.
if I'm playing Rebirth or something, I want to have fun. I'll use an off meta setup. I have fun for maybe half a game, and then everyone's just using their fucking their Marco 5 and their ridiculously it's just the same shit. People aren't having fun. Like you can't actually. I don't want to go on that tangent. I'm not going on that tangent. I'm not doing that.
Hey, I
I'm
got
not
an
getting on the
idea.
Rebirth tangent. You know, if you play Rebirth, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
You want to play some duos after this?
I would love to, but unfortunately, I have to get going. I have a very busy day ahead of me.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you told me about
Yeah,
it.
but
Yeah.
if you're on tomorrow, definitely.
Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow early, getting some games in for Coliseum.
True.
I
Yeah,
should be
I reckon we
on
can
when
run a
you're
couple.
awake.
If I wake up Sunday morning, say like this time, so yeah, 24 hours from now, reckon you'll be playing?
24 hours from now, probably. What time is it? Maybe. This is around the time I usually start winding down to go to bed.
No, that's all right.
4
We
a.m.
got
comes quick.
yeah, true. Well, we got all the time in the world to play. We can play with me next
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And we got Warzone 2 and stuff coming up too.
Oh yes, that's gonna be fun.
I'm excited to see how the sniping is in that. I mean, I don't have any expectations, like you said. I just want it to feel fresh.
Yeah,
But I hope that the things that they do with that game don't hurt the sniping playstyle because a lot of what they've done with Warzone 1 has, and they've
yeah,
had to
big time.
backtrack on that.
Dude, it got
They've kind of had
super
to
bad at one
backtrack.
point, or it's just almost
Oh,
completely
yeah.
unviable.
Like I quit playing for like 4 months. Um Towards the end of her dance. Mostly I was just frustrated with the time to kill of guns. Everything that came out every season was just faster and faster. Just that time to kill creep that happened.
That pattern has kept going too because the time to kill
Oh,
in Warzone now with the meta Warzone gun, a meta Vanguard gun is just ridiculous. It's
yeah.
so fast. It almost feels like multiplayer. Like it's basically BO4 TTK
Mhm.
in Warzone, which is for a battle royale. Yikes.
It makes it tough too because like it's not just flinch you have to deal with anymore when you're getting shot, and now you have to worry about fucking health being chunked away. Because before, when flinch was, still an issue, but the time to kill wasn't so fast. If you didn't have plates, you could still stand up from behind cover and rip a shot on somebody.
Yeah.
Now doing that is so risky because the servers are slow. Yeah, it's a fast paced game, but the way that everything refreshes, the tick rate of the servers is
20,
so
isn't it?
slow. 20 hertz, yeah.
That's
12
not good
for custom.
for a fast paced game like
No,
that. That is not good.
it should be
Not good at all.
at least 6.
Least.
Should at least be 3 times as fast.
Oh
But
yeah.
I imagine when you have 100 20 plus players in a server, that becomes kind of an issue, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, kind of. But Battlefield 2022, 128 players and 60 hertz refresh rate to create servers.
Okay, so it can be done.
It can be
It
done.
can
If
be done.
Battlefield can do it, Call of Duty can do it.
Right.
Simple as that. Oh, also, do you remember the org meta, the super bullet meta? Because of the low tick rate? You didn't have time to
there was
react.
no point in sniping. There's no point in
There was no
sniping during
point.
that. They completely broke that class of weapons. I was so sick of that shit. And then
hated that.
DMR was the same thing. There's no point in using a sniper.
Yep.
And
It was awful. It was unplayable.
that's
I
what
hated
kills
it.
me. That's what kills me when they completely destroy the viability of any class of weapons. And granted, sniping in Warzone has only really been viable if you're good at it. But it's so much fun that a lot of people want to do it. A lot of people want to get better at it, but when you don't have the chance at that because the NZ doesn't move at all and hits like a truck, just grab an NZ.
Exactly. You're
With,
putting yourself at a disservice not using that super busted gun. Because you don't have a chance. You don't have a chance. And it sucks. And it was really unfortunate. And it's still like that now. You just got... Well, I don't even know what the meta is in Vanguard, but I can already tell you it's an automatic weapon that is uncharacteristic and is boring, that has no recoil, that will kill you in 250 milliseconds from 500 meters away.
yeah,
I think it's
like
the
once
UGM
they,
maybe at the moment.
yeah, the gun. It's like once they have a gun like that becomes meta, every meta gun after that has to feel the exact same.
Exactly. You can't go from a zero recoil, 6x scope KGM 40 back to an AMAX because people will be in shambles.
I would love to see them just ramp up the recoil.
Well, it's looking hopeful in Warzone 2 if it's anything like Modern Warfare 2, which it will be.
That's the case.
I hope
I
so.
love recoil in games.
I do. I actually I like the recoil in Modern Warfare 2. It's just the fact that I can't see anyone.
Right. Dude, there's this game. It's in beta right now. It's called World War 3, and developed by Farm 18. It's like a small studio of like 15 people. It's got good promise. The gunplay is ironed out, feels really good. Gameplay is like a mix between like Call of Duty and like Battlefield type close quarters with a few vehicles sprinkled in there. But the ballistics in that game are so cool to where there's various grades. It's almost like Tarkov type ballistics. And armor mechanics to it, to where if you're shooting a sniper rifle at somebody and you hit them in the chest, but they're at a 30-degree angle to you, so your bullet would just ricochet off their chest plate. It wouldn't penetrate.
That's cool.
And
I
you would only do like damage to their armor. You wouldn't do damage to their actual character. But if they're turned towards you, depending on the type of round you had in your sniper, you could do like heavy damage to them. Or since the way that the armor plates work, the plates are only on the front and the back of the target. If you shoot them in the ribs, there's no armor at all. So you could just get a one shot down. It was very, very interesting, and I really hope that game gets the development time and resources that it needs, because I think it'd be really cool. It's got leaning. You can hit your prone key and hit back or S, and you'll just sit. You'll just lay on your back, and you can sit there and hold your gun up and shoot while just laying on your back.
It sounds really fun. I really want to give it a try.
It's super cool.
Well,
it's in closed beta right now.
It's what?
Closed beta. You gotta have bought the game when it was in alpha to play right now.
Well, I'm only slightly bad. Evan, co-host of the the Objective Battlefield podcast. Go give him a follow and listen. He said open beta is next week, the 29th, he thinks. So
nice.
Get on that.
Dude, that game is so fun.
We'll have to get some games into that, I reckon. That'd be fun.
100%. I'd love that.
We're running a bit low on time, but I just want to get into one final topic. What are your long-term content plans and ideas? What does McBango want to do?
I think so. I'm not really a content creator, so to speak. I lean more into the streaming direction. I'm a busy person. I have to work a full-time job. I live alone. I have to pay all my bills. I got to take care of, cooking, cleaning, all that shit. Got to take care of a demonic cat. Uh, and I also have to take care of my mental health too. So I can't play and stream Warzone more than 2 days a week.
Yep.
Get 2 days a week. That allows me to get enough time in to stay sharp, keep my skills up. And I like the interactive aspect of streaming that I wouldn't get from like videos and stuff.
I totally get that, dude. And I think mental health is super important in that regards too. I've I have taken a 180 on how much I've used to play Warzone, because I would get to the point where I would get angry playing the game. Like, look at my mic. So, okay, right, stream. If you can see, if you're watching this on YouTube or you're live here on Twitch, I'm currently holding up my microphone. My microphone is a Blue Yeti. The actual microphone part is all damaged from being punched, and it is currently in a mug, sitting upright in a mug because I broke it off the stand. There's a clip I have on my phone. I deleted the VOD, but I remember it distinctly, and if I find it, I might publish it one day if I get enough impression farming for it, like 100 likes, and I'll put it up. I was playing Verdansk, and I got trapped. I couldn't climb a rock face, and I died to gas, and I got so mad that I went Mike Tyson. I went all the way back, and I launched my fist into the microphone, snapped it off. It was a disaster, and ever since that day, I thought, if I'm getting angry, as soon as I start getting tilted, I'm off. I'm done. I don't care if I'm doing good. If I'm tilted, I'm off. Because I was at the point where I'd get mad at the game, and it would ruin my day, and I'm just grumpy at home. And that's not good. That's not why we play games. It's not why.
You gotta find out what's fun about it.
I'm done.
As simple as that. Don't play too much. Like, I really think so. I saw this thing on Twitter maybe like a month ago, and I couldn't disagree with it more. I don't know who said it, and it doesn't really matter. It was like, it's like, if people aren't spending 16 hours a day creating content, making videos, doing this every single day, they don't want it. It's like, that's not true. You can't speak for everybody, because everybody has their own limit when it comes to their mental health and their abilities to keep the grind up, because it's a grind. It's a lot of work. You got to be consistent. And so that whole thing of 16 hours a day, that doesn't work for me. That doesn't apply for me.
God, no. It is not sustainable at all.
I found out how much time you have. Stream 2 days a week on the weekends. Don't play the game during the work week because I'm too tired. By the time I get warmed up is when I have to go to bed. So what's the point? And that's been the most beneficial for my growth and viewer retention and all that. That is what works best for me. It keeps my mind in the right place. Because if I'm not myself, people just leave the stream. I mean, I see it every time when I'm tilted and I'm pissed off. People just, because I can't be myself. I can't be relaxed. I get too overly frustrated with myself, and that's not entertaining.
Exactly. And games are like they're meant to be relaxing. We've said this multiple times throughout this broadcast. Video games at its core are completely meant to be for fun. And people will say, like, no, video games, they're not just for fun. They're a life. I have to be good at this. This is a career. Like, if you're at that mindset, stop. Because why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, because
why would you want to do something you hate?
What is 5 years of that mentality going to do to you?
Oh yeah,
it's going to take years off your life. That stress, it's not good for you.
You're gonna age like not very fine wine. Age like milk.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Speaking of aging like fine wine, Bango is 30 years old, but he looks like a baby.
That's true.
He's a very handsome young man. He looks younger than me.
Still get carded all the time. Yeah.
When he shaves his face, it's fucking strange. He's just a little baby.
Do you remember when I first started streaming and I met you? I had this great big old beard.
Yes.
Dude, I was working on a ZZ top. That thing was like down to my nipples.
Oh my god. And then you shaved it off.
It was the first time I ever grew it out. Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Well, I'm at work one day and I'm using a drill and drilling a hole into something. And I just kind of look down at the rotating part of the drill and I'm like, that's inches from my beard. This is not good. Like, this is disaster waiting to strike.
Oh,
And the fact that I was hanging down below my welding helmet, I'm like, this is going to catch on fire.
yeah, it's not good.
Like, this isn't good. You know, I think it needs to go.
Welding spatter fucking burns. My
It was
my
a
legs are
good
scarred.
experiment.
I've been welding for a year, and my legs are scarred from all the spatter that's gone through my work pants. It's ridiculous.
Oh, dude. I've got some stories about scars that I will not discuss here because it is absolutely TOS. But burns in places you do not want burns. Let me just say
Oh
that.
dear.
If you're
Oh.
sitting cross-legged and you're welding over your head,
Oh, been there.
disaster can strike.
All right,
Let me
fuck it.
just
I'm
say
gonna.
that.
This is the last thing I'm gonna say. This is a good way to. This is a good little final topic. My worst burn is I had a split in my pants, and I also had a hole in my undies. And I was sitting on a stool doing an overhead weld. My balls. That's all I'll say. My balls.
Yeah, I had a hot glob of aluminum land right between my ball bag and my
Oh,
leg, my thigh, right in that crease there.
oh,
It wasn't
fuck.
good. It wasn't good.
Welcome to the first
Yeah.
person creator showcase, everybody.
Yeah, this is about shooter games and ball sacks and burns.
Shooting your load.
Well, hey man, I appreciate you having me on. This was fun.
This has
It's always
been
good talking to
fantastic.
you.
I couldn't have thought of a better person to be the inaugural guest on the podcast. McBango, I've known you for a very long time. I've always had a lot of respect for you. I've loved everything you've done, community wise, stream wise. It's been fantastic. Can't wait to see where you're going from here because your growth has been very good. I've noted, like as I said, double digits regularly. I've been looked at the other day. I think you were like 20 viewers, maybe a couple of weeks ago, which is fucking insane. All right, you're going places, buddy. I think people are starting to realize what you're capable of.
Yeah, and networking on Twitter has been huge too. Getting
That is
invites
huge.
to custom tournaments from, people that do this full time.
There you go. Also, your Coliseum feature. That's
Yeah, that was
huge.
really cool too. Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that.
quickly tell me about that. Like, yeah, we've got a couple more minutes.
So, once I heard about Coliseum, they sponsored the Drop Shot podcast. Um, and I heard about the concept of Fantasy Warzone, picking a roster of 6 streamers, and based on their points between wins and kills, you have a chance to win up to $50 for free every weekend. It doesn't require credit card information at all. All you have to do is make an account, pick your streamers on the Friday freebie, and hope that the people that you picked put up numbers that weekend. And if they do, you can win money. I saw the concept, thought it was really cool, surprised it hadn't been a thing. And one weekend, I think it was like a Monday, I saw, oh, here's the top kill leaders for the Friday freebie, and it was somebody had like 31 kills on Caldera. And that exact weekend, I'd put up 34 on a solo game, and I'm like, well, hey, I just dropped 34. Put me in, coach. And so then they DM me on Twitter, and we started talking. Had a Discord meeting with them, talked to them about my stream schedule and everything, and consistency there. And that's what they were looking for, is consistent stream schedule,
Yep.
so that you could be relied on. And since doing that, I've been gaining offline followers when I'm not even streaming in the middle of the week from people that I see entering these contests. So it's helping. It's doing a little bit for growth, but it's given me an extra sense of purpose to what I'm doing. I feel like I have a chance at winning people money, and I'm providing something
That's
more than
right.
just entertainment.
Let me just pull this up real quick. All right, McBango, featured streamer, chosen by 15% of everyone that's in the Friday freebie. That's a massive number.
Yeah, my pick rate's been pretty damn good. It's
That's
been
huge.
bigger than a lot of the big pros. But that's to the faithful bang gangers out there.
More than Super Evan. Let me see. I'm just scrolling down here. That's a lot lower. They're more than Super Evan, same as Lucky Charmu, more than Faded Invaded, more than Hisoka, much more than Swag, but he's on 0%. Sean J Gaming, more than them, more than for Pantheon. Dude, you've got a lot of people relying on you, a lot of trust in you. And I can vouch too, because of your first weekend in the Friday freebie tournament or play whatever, you put up about 350 points, which was like really up there.
Coliseum guys reached out to me and said, hey, great job last weekend. for your salary bracket, you put up the most points, and then that
Woo.
following weekend, because of my performance, went from $2,000 for the salary to five. But then that was last weekend. Had that issue with the solos LTM,
Yeah.
hardly being able to finish games. I'm dropped back down to 2,000, so I'm a little cheaper now. So lock me in.
Lock him
me in. I'll
in.
try to win
Lock him
money.
in. And for those who are wondering, Coliseum, that is play.kolosseum.co. This is not a sponsored stream, but I love the concept. I've been doing it every week. I've been coming in like the last place every time because the only person getting me points is McBango. But it's super fun. It's free. Win yourself some money. I'd love to partner with them. I'd love to be sponsored by them. That'd be great. Like, yeah, part,
really
as
cool.
an ad read, but
Really grow.
genuinely, it's an awesome concept. So make sure you go there. Again, that's play.kolosseum.co. Pick McBango as one of your six in the Friday freebie fantasy lineup, and he'll get you some points. He will get you a lot of points. That'd be awesome. It's free money. It's free and it's fun. I love it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be the end of the broadcast. It's been awesome. It's been about 2 hours almost. Excellent start to the podcast. I'm so excited for the future. Bango, thank you very much for joining me, and we will get this done again. Whether it's in 50 episodes time, no, doesn't matter. We'll get you on again because this has been fantastic. The viewer retention for this has been insane. We've stuck more than 5 viewers this entire stream, which is just fucking awesome. I really appreciate every single one of you that have stopped by and listened. If you're listening on YouTube, watching on YouTube, make sure you follow. Subscribe, whatever, all that. If you're on podcast apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that, share it around to get it around. If you have a lot of a lot of friends that are into first-person shooter video games and they want to see more people, reach out. Follow along, share it around. McBango, give me all your socials, buddy. Plug away. This is the most important part of the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Listen up.
All right, the best place you can find me is on Twitch every weekend. Twitch.tv/McBango, McBango. Otherwise, you can find me on Twitter at McBango FPS and YouTube, McBango FPS. I don't have many videos. I got 2 little videos up there. I work with somebody that does the editing for me, but they're also a father, a husband, work a full-time job, and have their own life to deal with too. So I don't put any pressure on them to release videos or do stuff. But right now he's got a huge file of quick scoping clips for a quick scoping video.
Ooh, that's gonna be a fucking banger.
And the videos he makes are really good because he used to make music videos and skateboard videos. So they've got that kind of flow to them with the music. So it works really well.
I like it. I like it.
Otherwise, yeah, it's just Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. Fairly active on Twitter. I've got a Discord. If you want to chat more, you can just go into my Twitch chat with the !Discord command. The link will pop up there. And
Awesome. Any final thoughts? Anything you want to say? Yeah.
I'm excited to see what it goes for you. This is a really cool concept. I like it.
Thanks, man. I've been, as I said on Twitter, a lot of people know that I've been stewing on this for a while, and I wanted to pull the trigger because I love first-person shooter games, and I would consider myself like on keyboard and mouse. If I'm going to be completely honest, at least top 3% in the world.
You're good.
I'm pretty decent.
Good. I've seen you.
But I'm not insane enough to be a gameplay streamer, and that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something community-wise. I want to build a community. I want to form partnerships, all that stuff. This is giving back to all of you that have given to me. So, thank you, everybody, once again for listening. Much appreciated. Share this around. Please, for the love of God, check out McBango and everything. I couldn't vouch for him more. Fantastic guy, fantastic player. That's my final thoughts. McBango, thank you again for being on. And everyone, have a good night, evening, whatever it is for you. And be sure to stop by next Friday. I'm having Brusky, who's an excellent Apex player. Super keen to have him on. And again, thank you all so much. Have an excellent night. Peace out.
Peace.
Ooh, that was fucking awesome, dude. That was
podcast, wasn't it?
Fun. Holy shit. Dude, I was in shambles for so long, but I feel like we pulled it
Oh,
off.
I'm sorry I was late. Oh my god.
No, that's okay. That's okay, man. I was shitting bricks though. I was like, oh my god. So I was actually worried something had happened.
Oh man, I just fell asleep. Just sleeping like a fucking rock. Dude, I woke up and I'm like, oh, what? And I look at my phone. There's like a couple Discord messages from me. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh
Look
fuck.
at the time. Oh shit.
Oh no. That's alright, man. You got on. We did it. Oh fuck, that was good. I have to like upload the VOD and like pull the first 10 minutes of the stream and add that into the final product because I meant to press record. That's fair. As long I remember fairly early on. So I'll probably
Growing
put a
pains.
disclaimer. I'll probably just put a disclaimer at like the start of the podcast and say like, hey, the first 10 minutes might be a bit fucking bad audio wise.
That is what it is. You'll have that.
Anyway,
Dude, it's funny you were telling that story about breaking your microphone. I've punched straight into monitors.
Oh no.
I used to rage so much when I was in like my late teens, early 20s. All that testosterone just pumping through me.
Oh
Dude,
my god,
I don't know what it was, but I got pissed and I punched straight into a monitor and broke it. And I've snapped keyboards over my knees. I've crushed mice under the weight of my grip from being so mad. Holy fuck, man. It used to be just terrible. I had to get an old shitty like aluminum baseball bat or softball bat from a garage sale eventually, and I get mad and I just go outside and just beat it against trees just to get that rage out of me.
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
glad that is just a phase. I got out of that.
I forgot.
Shit's expensive now.
I wanted to bring this up on the broadcast. I completely forgot about it. My missus refers to you as the keyboard guy because I remember telling her one time that me and Flex convinced you to hop on a work night and play, and you got so mad that you smashed your. I think it was you that smashed your keyboard or something like that.
Oh, I think I threw my headset off.
Yeah, something like that. So she refers to you as the
Broken
keyboard guy.
headsets, yeah.
I felt so bad that night.
Yeah.
I was like, oh
well,
no.
yeah, I just can't play in the middle of the week
Yeah.
anymore. I'm too tired,
I
grumpy from
understand
work.
that. I understand that. Are you gonna go live? Are you gonna stream right now?
No, I'm probably gonna shove some food down my stupid gullet, watch a movie, and go to bed so I can get up early and stream. Try to get some good Coliseum points when the burger bots are online.
Hell yeah.
Warm up for demon time.
We'll throw a raid at your buddy, actually. We'll raid Anks.
Do it up.
ANXGGWP. Just double check that's right. He's a good bloke. I like him.
He's a good player.
Again,
fucking
I'll just throw him right here. Alright, stream. Thank you so much. Super support tonight. Much appreciated. I love you all. I'll catch you all next Saturday morning for me, but Friday night for you. Again, go follow Bang. We love Bang. Peace out, stream. Raid.
Perfect.
Alright, let's get that ready. 4 viewers ready to raid. 5 viewers ready to raid. Let's go. As soon as I raid, I'll end. And bang.